Hello, welcome to the second edition of Ask Austin. My name is Austin Hart. I'm a financial advisor with Raymond James. This is a Q&A session where I answer questions that I'm commonly asked, and today we're going to start off with a question we addressed last week. The question at hand had to do with some talk about a potential reduction in pre-tax contributions to 401ks. We went over all that. Essentially, it doesn't matter. That was not part of the initial draft that went over to be reviewed, so it's not going to happen at this time. So nothing to worry about, nothing's going to change at this time, so everything's going to remain the same. Now, one thing to keep in mind going forward is anytime that there's some talk about a potential change in legislation, no matter what it's about, take it with a grain of salt, because ultimately it has to go through a lot of different levels to even get past or any changes to take place. So keep that in mind going forward. Now, today we're going to talk about the simplest terms of investing, what it means to be a shareholder. So we're going to talk about the key components of that, what it means for a company to go public, and what it means for you to buy stock of that company. So we're going to start off with let's say a small company that a guy has an idea. Hey, I'm going to create this widget. As an example, the things that people have on the backs of their smartphones so that they can hold them. Small, simple idea, but let's say it turns into something big. You get a lot of investors, people that put their own money into it, and they think it's going to be something big. Well, things go really well. They have one factory that's making these products. They're selling. They're starting to grow. They've run out of room in their factory. They need to hire more employees, yet they don't have the capital to do it. They can't find anybody else to invest with them. What do? Their option is to go public. By going public, it's a way to raise money quickly. So that's what the company decides to do. They go through all the steps to become a public company, and they get put on the stock exchange. Let's say their initial offering is $10 a share. So the company is worth $10 per share. It's out there. Now you and I can go buy it. Let's say I have an affinity for this type of product. I think it's great. I use it myself. I know it's going to be the next big thing. I have an extra $1,000 laying around. I take that $1,000 and I buy that stock. So I buy it at $10 a share. I own it. Let's say over the next 5 years, you see the stock go up. Things are going great. The markets are great. Everything's looking great. The stock's up to $25. 5 years down the road, company's still doing okay, but we hit a little lull in the market. It drops back down to $14 a share. Well, you're still up $4 per share. You haven't lost any money. You still have faith in the company, so you stick with it. Well, over time, the company is growing and they're seeing some profits. Well, you as a shareholder have a couple of rights. The first right is you have the right to vote on behalf of the company. As a part owner of the company, you have that right. So you have a right to vote on the board of directors. And through that board of directors, a lot of issues get resolved within the company. Some issues that you might not vote on personally, you voted that board of directors, and they make the decision for what's best for the company and what's best for the shareholders. So the board of directors decide, okay, the company's growing, we're doing really well. Let's start paying back the stockholders, the ones that purchased our company when it was just $10 a share. So what are we going to do? Well, let's share some of the profits that we're making. What that's called is a dividend. So as part owner of the company, you're eligible to receive profits that the company has made, and they share those with you based on the amount of shares that you have. Now, dividends can be paid out on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, an annual basis. It's dependent on the company and what they decide, but those dividends are paid out to their shareholders. And those dividends are the profits shared to you. And as time goes on, the company might pay a dividend every year. Now, one thing to consider with dividends is they're not guaranteed. A company can stop paying dividends at any time. They can increase the dividend at any time, but also not only are they not guaranteed, but they are going to fluctuate over time depending on the relative health of the company. So you got these dividends paying, and most companies, to improve visibility, improve the look of their company, they're going to potentially increase those dividends year after year. So as a stockholder, not only are you going to gain if the share price of that stock goes up, you're also going to be paid those dividends on an annual basis, on a quarterly basis. And if the company is doing well and they continue to increase those year over year, that's where you can really make money on the initial purchase. So that's what a dividend is. Dividend-paying companies are always looked at positively because that means, one, for the most part, the company is healthy and it's a great stock to own. A lot of retirees use dividend-paying companies to help supplement income with their Social Security. Their retirement income is used those dividend paying companies are used to supplement that income that they need to live on. So dividend paying companies are great, and it's a great stock to hold. Now, the other type of payment for a company is called a capital gain. A capital gain is essentially when you sell the company, how much money did you make over those years? So again, let's go back to when it was $10 a share you purchased it. Now, over a 10-year period, you're ready to sell, you think it's at the high level, you want to take the gain that you have, and now it's selling for $100 a share. Well, per share you made $90 a share. So when you make that sale, it is considered a capital gain. You'll pay the taxes on it, but that's money that you've gained over those years of holding the stock. So those are the two ways that you really get paid out on being a stockholder. You get the dividends. If you continue to hold it, you'll continue to get paid those dividends as long as the company is paying them. And the capital gain, as soon as you sell that stock, you're going to see the appreciated value of holding it on for that period of time. So that is the very basics of what it means to be a stockholder, what the market's all about, what investing's all about. That's where it starts, and there's many other things that make up being an investor, but that is the essential nuts and bolts of putting money away and investing in a company and reaping the benefits of doing so. So that's all for this week. As we are in Thanksgiving week next week, and we're approaching Thanksgiving weekend, enjoy. Try not to go out and get caught in the craze of Black Friday and all the shopping, but enjoy time with your families. I look forward to talking to you again next week. If you do have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer them. If you find this valuable, please share or like, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving.